Okay, picture a caveman. He hunts, he makes fire, he paints on walls, and then, when nobody's looking, he grabs a handful of dirt and eats it on purpose. Not by accident, not because he was starving. He actually wanted the dirt. And weirdly enough, he might have been onto something. Now, before you say, no way, that's made up, let me tell you it has a real name. Scientists call it geophagy, which just means earth-eating. So yeah, it's a fancy word for a pretty gross snack. And here's the wild part, because this wasn't just one weird guy in one weird cave. People were doing this all over the planet, across Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas, on different continents and in different times. People who never even met each other, all landing on the same idea. You know what sounds good right now? The ground. And they weren't even eating just any dirt, because they were surprisingly picky. We're talking specific clays and certain soils, and some people would literally walk for miles just to get the good stuff, which raises the obvious question, why would anyone do this? Well, to understand it, you first have to understand ancient food. See, plants really don't want to be eaten, so a lot of wild plants are packed with natural chemicals that taste bitter and can actually make you sick. It's basically the plant's way of saying, back off. And our ancient friend here doesn't have a grocery store, so he's eating roots, weird berries, and mystery tubers, which means half his menu is quietly trying to poison him. So this is where the clay comes in, because certain clays act like a sponge. The bad chemicals stick to the clay instead of sticking to him, and the clay just carries all that poison right out the other end. And we know this actually works because animals do the exact same thing. Parrots eat clay, certain monkeys eat clay, and they'll munch on toxic plants and then eat dirt to cancel out the poison. It's basically nature's antacid. So our caveman might just be doing what the parrots already figured out. Rough meal, follow it with a clay chaser. But detox isn't the only theory, because dirt might also have worked like a supplement. Your body needs minerals like iron, calcium, and zinc, all these little things that keep you alive. And it turns out some soils are absolutely loaded with them. So the idea is that when your body was running low, you'd start to crave the exact dirt that had what you needed. And we actually see this today because in some places, pregnant women crave clay, almost like their body is screaming, I need extra minerals for this baby, and clay is right there. Now, I have to be honest with you, because this theory is a little messy. Sometimes the clay actually blocks minerals instead of giving them, which is why scientists still argue about this one to this day, which is honestly kind of funny when you think about it, because we managed to put a robot on Mars, but we still can't fully agree on why grandma ate clay. And that brings us to theory 3, which might just be the biggest one of all. Ancient life was absolutely full of tiny monsters. There was no clean water, no medicine, and definitely no little pink pills for a bad stomach. So if you drank from the wrong puddle, you were in serious trouble. But certain clays coat the inside of your stomach like a shield, soaking up nasty bugs and calming an upset gut, which meant you didn't have to spend your entire day sprinting to the nearest bush. And back then, a bad stomach wasn't just annoying, it could genuinely kill you, because losing that much water was incredibly dangerous. So, a snack that protected your belly wasn't gross at all, it was pure genius. And we still use this idea today, because some stomach medicines are literally based on special clay. So the next time your tummy hurts, you might want to thank a caveman. But before you run outside and start eating your backyard, please don't. Because here's the part that really matters. It only ever worked with the right dirt. The wrong dirt could be packed with parasites, or poison, or lead, which is very much not a vitamin. Ancient people only learned which dirt was safe through trial and error over a very long time. And that meant a lot of taste testing from a lot of brave cavemen. So this whole thing wasn't random at all. It was basically ancient science. There were no lab coats and no experiments written down, just people slowly figuring out which dirt helps and which dirt hurts, which is pretty impressive for a guy with no shoes. So, let's bring it all home. Ancient humans ate dirt because it could soak up poison, maybe give them minerals, and shield their stomachs from all those tiny monsters. It wasn't weird at all. It was survival, and their bodies knew a trick that took us thousands of years and actual scientists to finally understand, which kind of makes you wonder what other weird things ancient humans did that were secretly brilliant. And the good news is, that's a whole other video. So if this one surprised you, go watch that one next. And hey, maybe just don't snack on the garden. See you next time.